are also really good because in the past I've used Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus because it's a really good way to, it's a persuasive kind of paper, so it's kind of persuasive, and we're thinking of like different ways that we can persuade someone to let the pigeon drive the bus. So I did this with 6th grade and they really loved it, and we talked about the different types of persuasion, like different facts or emotions. And also on your other handout you have the 6th grade. So I've done a lesson plan that kind of looks at trickster tales, and I read 2 trickster tales, and then we compared the different qualities of it, and then at the end students were able to write their own trickster tale with like illustrations, and they were able, and I had them type it as well since we were able to use a computer lab. And on the back I had the adaptations for ELs, and they I had an EA in the classroom, and we also preloaded vocabulary, like things like that the animals would do, the qualities of a trickster tale, what is a trick, give examples. So that's something we did before I started reading the text. And with our younger students, they could use picture books to start their writing. Also, with any level 1 students, you may have a word box of the more difficult words, so their stories have a little bit more depth than if they just wrote by themselves. If you had a word box of things that are like maybe 1 level above, they can start using those words in their writing, even though they don't know for sure how to spell them yet, but they're aware of them. Because a lot of students are afraid to use words if they don't know how to spell them. So a word box is really good for level 1s and 2s who are just developing vocabulary. And on writers' workshops, we have, this could be a small group or individual, and each group can focus on, you can use a content group, an organizational group, or a group working on mechanics. So this could be small group, large group, or individual. Because our book, Mechanically Inclined, gave me a lot of examples on how to use writers' workshops and how to teach different types of things such as organization or mechanics. So writing centers are a good way for students to work with peers. We have peer editing, and also you can have a mixed ability group or a similar ability group. So I did a differentiated peer editing on the Post-it note peer editing. I had students in groups of 4, and each student was only looking for one thing in each paper. So one student was only looking for a thesis statement. Another student is only looking for transition words. So our thesis statement student was using the orange Post-it notes to write his or her comments, and then once that student was done, this was attached to the paper, and he or she would just put this Post-it note right here, and then it gets passed to the next person in the group. And the next person could have been blue, and then they'll write what their comments were on introduction and conclusion, like it didn't match with what the paper was about, did it help them understand the topic, and that person would write on the Post-it note and stick it here. Then our purple group, the purple person who's looking at transition words, they can say, oh, we need to add some more transition words, or I want to change them because they're all the same. Say someone used the word next for every paragraph. That can be something that they would edit. They would say that you should probably use a variation of transition words. And then it goes to the person with the yellow, evidence. Do they use text evidence for their claims? Or do they use examples from the text to support or to give details about what they were saying. So once each person in the group did this, the person who owned the paper, they would write how can they incorporate the statements that they read on their paper. So they would write this part on the bottom. And then they would be able to go to the revision process notes. And this, I did this whole whole group, but you may want to do this small group at first because I did this in 6th grade. So I didn't really have any small group time, but I probably would, like doing that this year, I would do small groups at first. Like I would meet with a small group, like during my small group time when everyone else is doing centers, I would do this with a group at a time. And then eventually I would want it to be whole group when they could do it independently. But you do not have to have like all 4 of these. There could be a group of 3 and you can pick 3 skills such as on the back, it gave a lot of examples like grammar, like punctuation, quotation marks. I know in 4th grade we're on quotation marks and punctuation. That would be 2 different people that they would be looking for those 2 things. And adjectives will be something else. So I have a group of 3 looking for those 3 things. And also a good way to practice writing is integrating technology. We have ReadWorks, Edmodo, Edulastic, and Storybird. So these are taught for free. ReadWorks is a good way to set up the classroom. And I have a center where they have a passage and they will, they have short answers. With Edmodo, you can assign essays and have them work on it over a period of time, and as well as Edulastic, you can also have that too. And that also, you can do different types of assessments. On Storybird, you have